Hello, New England and Rochester, New York, and beyond, man. It is the Room Podcast. And tonight, starting off the show with me is John Piersma, who'll be fighting a week from this Saturday, fighting for CFFC 101, October 2nd. It's Saturday night, I do believe, right, John?
It's a day card.
Oh, it's a day, but so a Saturday day.
Yeah, so the main card starts at 1:30. I think they said I'd be fighting around 3-ish.
Excellent. And as we know, CFFC is huge on Fight Pass, and they are a huge gateway to the UFC. So, John, man, your fourth trip as a pro. I believe this is your third fight for CFFC, correct?
Yep, third.
So,
Fourth pro fight, third CFFC fight.
Yep. So, how's it going, man? It's your fourth fight, I think, within is it in a year's time, your fourth pro fight?
Yeah, I think about 10 months.
That's not bad, man, considering your first fight was kind of scrapped because your first opponent got ill, but you rescheduled that so you could have like maybe a couple of more fights under your belt if things had gone correctly, but things have gone pretty good for you with getting 4 fights within a year anyway, man. So what's the progression like since that first pro fight?
I'm glad I've been able to stay so busy. Ever since I started fighting as an amateur, I've always fought at least 4 times a year. But yeah, I'm just glad that, especially with all the COVID stuff earlier this year, I put my pro career on pause. I was supposed to make the pro debut right when COVID first started. Then I had to wait all the way till December of last year. But fourth fight within a year. So pretty much I've just been nonstop training in camp for the last 10 months to a year. But yeah, it's been good. I think I've grown. I've come a long ways since that first pro fight. So yeah, it's good. I think I'm getting better every time out, and I'm going to show that I'm better than last time in this fight.
Well, I know you added a couple of things from that last training camp, especially a strength and conditioning coach that really helped you out. Now this is your second camp with him. How is that progressed, and what are you feeling? I know you said you made leaps and bounds with your strength and how you felt going into that third fight. Now it's your fourth, and it's your second full training camp, I guess, with him. How's it feel, and any difference from that first training camp with him?
It was good. It went great again. I think the difference is this time, though, between when my last fight ended, when we started our, I think, 9-week camp for this fight, I had that 4 or 5 weeks in between, where we really just focused on, strength training and putting on a little extra muscle mass and a little size. So I think that's going to make a huge difference. So I put on, a little bit of mass, and so we started a little bigger for this camp, but cut down to a good weight where the weight cut's going to be good and smooth, just like last time. So I think that's going to show, and that's going to also make a difference, is having that little bit of time to really focus on the strength in that little off period.
Excellent. Well, I got a picture up here right now. What's the name of the camp or the strength and conditioning facility?
So the head strength conditioning coach is Nick Mancuso, and his gym is Elevate 585 in Rochester, New York.
Excellent, man. Now, this is, as we say, this is your second camp. Was that something that you always thought of adding, was strength and conditioning? Because I know you had come from a football background, so I would imagine you were getting a lot of that then. But did you ever think of adding it in, or was it just a piece of the puzzle as a growing professional MMA fighter?
It was always something I was interested in, but up until that point, I was always just, I played sports growing up and lifted, so, I had an idea, and I would do my own thing, and it was working to that point, but then Nick reached out to me, because I had known him previously. He trained a little bit at my gym, so he reached out, said he was interested in bringing me in and talking to me about maybe working with me. So we did that. We came to a deal, and so then I just realized how valuable it was after the first camp. So after, working with him now for, I don't know, going on 5 months, I realized what I was missing and how much of a difference it made. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely no going back now.
Excellent. Well, I know you've been busy. Like we said, this is going to be a fourth professional fight. You got in some jiu-jitsu in between there, some competition there, got in some roles in this last year also. That was a big thing before, I would imagine you turned pro. You were, I mean, that's a strong part of your MMA game right there is your submission game. So you stayed busy with that in between fights, correct?
Yeah, I haven't over the last year. I mean, I got to once or twice, but I haven't been able to compete as much because I've been so busy with the fighting and focusing on that. But yeah, I love the grappling aspect, and that's how I really started more so. And I love competing. I love going to the tournaments and stuff. And when I'm done fighting, that's probably more where I'll transition into focusing on. But yeah, when I have free downtime, I like trying to get into as many tournaments and matches as I can because they're more fun, not less stress than a fight. So they're more for fun, and I enjoy them. But yeah, over this last year, I've just been so busy with fighting and training that I haven't really had time. But yeah, it's something I really enjoy doing.
Excellent, man. Well, dude, let's talk a little bit about CFFC. Your last fight was for Maverick, I do believe. Your first fights were first two fights for CFFC. Then you went to Maverick for a fight, correct?
Yeah, first two CFFC, then my last one was Maverick. Now I'm with CFFC for the next three.
Yeah, so you CFFC reached out to you to sign you because they saw something special out of you, I would imagine. Just like a lot of people are really now focusing on that John Piersma after three finishes in his three first professional fights, man, is the real deal. What was that feeling like when you got the message that, hey, because when they sign you, you're a prospect of theirs and they're going to focus a lot of time and a lot of media on you. So what was that feeling like to, get over that hurdle that one of these major organizations is really interested in you?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. They were they kind of were talking to me after the second fight about maybe trying to work something out, and it didn't really happen. So then I did that fight with Maverick. I won that fight, and then after that one, we really got together with them and figured a deal out. So yeah, it was great, being with them for the next three fights at least. They're outside of UFC, Bellator, and those guys. They're probably one of the top regional organizations you can be in, and they're putting guys in the UFC. Seems like weekly nowadays, and so yeah, this is the place to be to get to where I want to go. So yeah, it was a big thing being able to get that contract, and now obviously being one of their prospects, and yeah, it'll be a little bit different than the first two times when they're kind of last minute fights they offered me, and it's a little bit different now. I got the whole 9 weeks. I knew I was fighting for them, and so yeah, it's good all the way around.
Well, is there anything that has changed as far as that? Is there more? Have you been getting any media attention? This fight's coming up. Have they reached out to you? Have you been getting any little promos with them for the fight? Or is it still too early in your career? Because this fight, as it says on the poster, it's a welterweight contender fight. So explain what that means, and if you've been getting the attention of a welterweight contender fight.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I can tell a difference now. Well, one being the co-main event, so that's, makes it more of a big deal. And yeah, just reaching out for interviews with different people, and I actually did an interview with John Morgan, the commentator guy.
First question guy. You got the first question guy calling you, right?
Yeah, so I did one with him yesterday, so obviously that's a difference. And yeah, the contenders thing, we didn't really specifically talk specifics about that, but I think, as long as I handle this, take care of business, win this fight, maybe there's a title shot coming up sooner or later. I'm not really super worried about that time because at this point, just winning, it's, But yeah, if I just win this fight and then, yeah, maybe a title shot's going to be coming eventually. But yeah, I can definitely tell a difference. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, dude, you not only are you signed by them, but the competition is going up now. 3 finishes, 3 subs. You are, I don't know when the voting, it must stop at the end of the year, but you were in line for submission of the year, correct? For
Yeah.
CFFC. When did you heard anything about that? I mean, there's probably there's few more cards before the end of the year, so I would imagine I have to go all the way to the end of the year for that.
Yeah, so I remember back in like April when I hit that on my pod. I did that interview with the UFC Fight Pass guy, and he said at the time, I mean, it was up there for like, I think that was UFC Fight Pass submission of the year. He was talking about, I think CFFC does their own awards. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure at the end of the year they do all their voting and stuff, so I'll hear more about it then. But yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if I won it. And yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it's something at the end of the year I'll hear about, and I'm sure there'll be some kind of voting and fan voting, this and that. So yeah, we'll see at the end of the year.
Well, you still got this fight coming up Saturday, and who knows? The year's still young for you. I mean, this will be a 4th fight in 10 months or so. You can get a couple in more at the end of the year. But CFFC is going to take you along slow. I'd imagine they're going to give you a proper training camp for that next opportunity. But let's talk about this opponent, John. I mean, he's 5-0, all finishes. I believe 4 subs. He's got a TKO in there. No slouch in his amateur career. I think he might have had 1 loss in his amateur career, man. So like we said, the talent steps up as the fights go under your belt. So let's talk about this opponent and the danger fighting another guy that's more of a grappling guy like yourself, man. Are you excited to be able to challenge and go against someone that is submitting people just like you?
Yeah, no, he's definitely tough. 5-0, obviously, you don't get to 5-0 professionally without being a good fighter. We've been watching tape and breaking stuff down. His grappling is definitely his strong suit, which is definitely my strong suit also. So if it goes to that realm, I mean, obviously I feel comfortable. I'm sure he's gonna be tough. He looks like a strong guy. He was an ex-football player like me, so he was an athlete his whole life. But yeah, he'll be tough. I'm at the point now where I'm expecting, everyone's gonna be a hard fight. I haven't really had easy fights to this point, and I don't expect to get easy fights going forward. It's just, to get to where I want to be, the easy fights aren't going to do anything for me. So, yeah, when they offered it 5-0, I said, yeah, let's do it.
Now, was there other matchups to choose from, or was like that the first one that came across the table?
They sent over a couple guys. I think they were all 5-0, so there wasn't really much difference in them. So I mean, we just said, yeah, we'll take this fight. Yeah, no, they didn't offer at this point. I mean, just fighting in CFFC itself, they don't bring in slouches for anybody. I mean, you got to be a good fighter to fight for CFFC. So yeah, there's not going to be any easy fights now or going forward. So. Because I see some of these guys who are, 5-0, 6-0, but then you go and look through their record, and it's like, where are they finding these guys that they're fighting? They're fighting like 2 guys that are 2-10, 1-9, and I've never got those fights, but in the long run, they're not really helping me, so it's all good.
Well, my man, a week from this Saturday during the day is Man, does that change anything for you? I imagine weigh-ins earlier. I would imagine on Friday, since it's a day event.
I think I still haven't got official word on weigh-in time. Lars, I've been bugging him, and he's been asking. They still haven't gave him official time, but he's thinking probably earlier in the day, around noon, probably. I'm guessing. But yeah, it'll be a little different. Usually I fight, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. This will be about 3 o'clock. I think they probably think I'll probably fight. So it'll be a little bit different, but, not a bad thing. It's almost nice. I don't have to sit around all day, think about it,
Yeah.
Get up,
Exactly.
get the
Well,
food.
well, I know you like to celebrate a little bit after you get a win, man.
Yeah.
What is this fourth win if your hand gets raised, on October 2nd? What is that? What does that do for you? I mean, the contenders are. I know you got 3 fights with CFFC, but if the contender comes calling or something like that, man, there's a possibility there. You know what I mean? What's the feeling like? Because it's about getting wins under your belt, and you're doing it with finishes and subs of the year qualifiers. Man, what's another win you think does do for your career? And what are your expectations by the end of 2021?
I try not to think about that too much. I just know that as long as I go out and win this fight, it's going to open up more opportunities, bigger opportunities. But the biggest thing is just go to win. I can't really control what happens after, so I don't really think about that because I haven't even been fighting for pro for a year yet. Obviously, I want to be in the UFC. Obviously, I want to get to all those stages, but there's no super rush right now. The biggest thing is just winning. Obviously, go in there, handle business, get a win, and then good things come. So, yeah, I'm not looking ahead too much or thinking what will be if I win or what could happen. It's just kind of go in, win, and get back to training and see who comes calling.
Excellent, my man. Well, John, last thing I ask you before I let you give shout outs and probably the 100 sponsors you have listed, if you have them. What's left to do? We're a little under a week and a half. This night's over, so it's coming close. What's left to do in the final days before you hit that cage?
I mean, at this point, it's just tightening some things up, working on some last minute details. Next week's more about just staying loose, getting that weight right, making weight. But yeah, the hard part's really over with. I got maybe tomorrow and Friday are my last couple hard workouts. And then the rest of next week is, like I said, just get the weight right, work on some last minute details. But yeah, the hard part's done. Now it's just a waiting game, which is I hate the week of is the worst because you're just sitting around waiting, making weight, waiting for the fight. So yeah, at this point, it's just the small things and making weight.
Excellent, my man. Well, congratulations on everything in since that first fight. I think in December 2020, when you made your pro debut, bro. Great things coming out of you. You're finishing people and you're making highlight reels, brother. And hopefully, and I'm certainly we're gonna get some spectacular footage of you in a week and a half. And man, get your hand raised, man. And, come back on the show after and we'll talk all about it and, what's next in this journey of yours, man. But you're doing it and congratulations, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I can't wait. Can't wait to get back in there. Keep it rolling.
Excellent, my man. Anything, shout outs, anything you want to say before I let you go?
Just big shout out to all my sponsors. It means so much. All my friends and family, teammates, coaches, they really helped me so much, and I probably wouldn't be at this point without them. But just a big shout out to everyone who's helped me. Next Saturday, October 2nd, get in there, get this done for all of them.
Excellent, man. Well, John, thanks for giving me the time. So close to fight day. But we'll all be watching. We'll be rooting for you. I know I'll be hanging out with Lars and. All right. So, all right. I got to get that out of there. All right. Matt Bessette should be. I just got to get all this shit out of here right now. There we go. Get that out of there. I got to get John's name out of there. There we go. Let's get Matt up here because I have Matt Bessette. CES world featherweight champion and lightweight world champion coming on to talk about his monumental finish last Friday night and making history. So there we go. So let me see if Matt is ready. It's saying that my stream's lagging a little bit, but I don't give a shit. It is what it is. All right. So Matt, if you hear me right now, you can call me if you would like. If you would like. Oh shit. I think I. Oh, there it is. So let me see if this connects. All right, I'm gonna call Matt right now and see if. Oh, cool. He should answer. Matt was out to dinner tonight with friends. So, hey, what's up, champ?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, let me just
What's
get
up?
your face up here. All right, let me just move you into focus. You're live right now, Matt. So, what are you eating? Cereal or something? You just came from dinner. What are you eating?
Ice cream.
Did you? All right. So didn't you just have dinner, or was that a while ago?
Well, I went to dinner. I got sushi with my buddy Dan
Okay.
out in Bristol. And I had to come home. On the way home, my wife needed something printed at Staples, so I stopped at Staples. The printer wasn't working, so we had to go to a different printer. That printer wasn't working, so I had to ask them to print it. It's like this whole thing. And I finally got home. That's why I'm running a little bit behind.
That's awesome. So the ice cream is from home. That you didn't pick
Yep.
that up on. Oh, excellent, man. So I'm sure you celebrated with a lot of sweets after that fight. I don't know if you got a sweet tooth or it's just ice cream, but you know, um, how was the celebration afterwards? I know it probably hasn't stopped yet. You went to dinner tonight. You probably had dinner with the family, or that's getting ready to happen. I know we had a big after party that you might have had, had recouped from. So, man, how's everything been going since Friday night, brother?
Food is good. um, Dude, because I cut to 55, I didn't have to diet too much. You know, it. I dieted down to like 161, 162. I actually cut too much weight at first. I usually do 2 nights. Like I cut the night before, half the day of, and I got at the 162 down to 155, and I was like, oops, I didn't mean to do that. And I drank back like 3 or 4 pounds. The next day I cut again. I cut down to 150, 2.8. And I was like, oh my God, that was way too, that was too much. So I drank I drank a Pedialyte and a water. And then I finally weighed at 155. But like that was all over the place. I didn't cut to 55 in so long that I know what the hell I was doing.
Well, you did
But
talk about, leading up to that fight, you went in some supreme shape. So, the body's just burning. The body's just burning, Matt.
yeah, I mean, you're right. I cut to 45 for 8 years or something like that. That my body was just so used to sweating when it gets to a certain weight and losing that weight that I think it just kept on sweating. Like I got out of the bath both times, just pouring sweat. I could have just sat in there longer, obviously.
Yeah.
I might make 145. I mean, I definitely would have been able to make 145 because I'd done it from 162 many times. But I'm glad I didn't have to.
Well, how'd the body feel? Like you said, you have fought at that weight, but it's been a while. How'd it feel? I mean, it looked outstanding there. Matt, you filled out. We're not used to seeing you a bigger dude in there, and man, you looked great as far as shape in there. What'd the body feel like compared to your last fight at featherweight at lightweight?
Oh, dude, it's night and day. I never lost my legs. Like a lot of times when I cut weight, in fact, every time when I cut weight to 45, I lose my legs, and like the size of my butt, size of my legs goes down a little bit. I don't get that back for like 3-4 weeks. It takes a while. So like some of my power, right from your legs, right from the ground up. So a lot of my power is lost when I cut to 45. Although I still have the knockout power, some of it is lost. Some of my speed is lost because of that. Because I don't have that same kind of explosion, the same kind of quickness because my legs are kind of lost. Also, when I rehydrate after cutting, it usually takes like a little over a day to feel like my legs are okay to fight. But my legs were never lost. So I could have ran 10 miles that day. My legs were great, and it was just really nice to have that kind of energy. I was very fast. I was hitting hard, and I was really dialed in.
Well,
Once
you were stalking him until the finish, Matt. I mean, outstanding. And you made a post on Instagram showing like, you did that spinning heel hook, and you're talking about just missing, and I put a little thing. I said everything but the kitchen sink was thrown in that fight by you, man. Just an outstanding performance on your feet, and just grappling, finishing with the triangle. But Matt, you were beating the hell out of this kid, and he was taking a beating. And we talked about this leading into that fight, that he was going to be in shape. And we know when you're in shape, man, it's not easy to put you out. I mean, everything's firing. That kid was tough as nails, man. And that's a fight to be appreciated when you got to work so hard to put him out, and you finally do. What was the feeling like when you were connecting and he wasn't dropping? What was the feeling like? Eventually, I'll get this guy, but damn.
You know what? It doesn't faze me. I just if the tree's not falling, I keep on chopping. It's just it's how I work. It doesn't faze me at all. Like if I hit you at everything I got and you don't fall, I go, okay, I'll just hit him again. It's not like, oh no, he's not fading, because I can fight forever. It's not like I need somebody to be, I need to finish somebody in the first or second round, because I'll go 10 rounds. The longer a fight goes, the more it favors me, I feel like, because I'll fight forever. So every time I hit him, I felt him kind of just like losing a little bit more on his power meter. I hit him to the body with a really good liver shot, and I felt him like one of those, and I was like, ooh, that was really nice. He's faking more. So like I can kind of put myself back in the fight right now, and think of each shot that I landed that took more and more energy away. But we'll go back to video games here. Like, you hit somebody and their power meter goes away. It almost seemed like it was like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, where you beat this guy so many times and he gets his power meter back a little bit. Yeah. Because this dude, he regenerated quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's very, very tough. He was very tough. And if you think about the fight too, like, I wobbled him 3 times. I dropped him once. He lost his footing against a kick because I wobbled him hard, and I dropped him. And I had him in a tight rear naked choke. I went for another rear naked after that. He defended both of those. He defended an arm bar. He slipped out. He defended the arm bar, so I got on top. Like he never looked for an out. And a lot of times when you're fighting somebody and you feel them tiring and they know they're losing, they look for an out. They start to give up slowly. They get in their own head. These things happen in a fight. People look for the back door. Some people look for the back door before the fight starts, but that's for another conversation. But he never did. He kept fighting. And he's such a gamer, man. I was really, really honored to fight somebody that tough for my last fight.
Well, my friend, I didn't know it was going to be your last hurrah in that cage. I mean, I expected you might get in, fight again, but man, what was that feeling like? We'll talk about that feeling, but what was the feeling when you finally sunk in that triangle and you knew, history was being made and that crowd was just going to roar for you? And, that feeling, Matt, you haven't had it, and it was something that a goal that you said is going to put a nail in the coffin for you. So, man, what was that feeling like?
Well, dude, that combination I've done, countless times. I've taught it countless times to my students, where you take the back, you're going for the rear naked. He's defending well. He's not defending like this. He's defending like this with his arms up. A lot of times the guys are defending like this with their arms up. It's really hard to get underneath the neck. That's just a really effective way to defend the rear naked choke. And he was doing it. He was kind of going over either shoulder, going onto his side. It was just, it was getting not frustrating, but it was almost like, all right, I could sit here and work for rear naked for the next 4 minutes, or I can drop off, get a Kimura grip on this underhook and go for an armbar. So I did that the first time. He slipped out. I did it the second time. And I heard Jeff on the first armbar, Jeff Haddad. He said the reverse triangle's there. And I can't tell you how many times I've done that exact combination. Armbar's not working, and you kind of like loosen up your top leg a little bit, let him slip his head through, create that pillow and set the reverse triangle. So the second time I did it, I initially got the arm bar and was right away. I didn't even think about the arm bar at all. I was just like lean off to the right side, let him pop his head through. He popped his head through, and I cinched it up. And the fight was over at that moment because I've finished it so many times. Nobody has ever escaped in ever. Very, very tight. And, I knew it was going to happen before it happened. And, yeah, dude, it was like I was saying in an interview with Mike Heck, like when I fight, all 36 fights, I've never thought of anything ever other than the fight. If something's going on in my personal life at all, I have never thought about it one time, not once. And before fights, I'm always like, am I going to think about this? Am I going to think about that? What's going to go through my head when this happens? And I've never thought about anything other than the fight. So all I was thinking about was the fight at that moment. But as soon as he tapped, I didn't think about the fight at all. All I thought about was like this like tremendous release that I got, just knowing that like I was the first 2 division world champ for CES. I was, that's fight number 36 that I got in the cage. Like I did it. I didn't take any damage whatsoever. I felt good, fought amazing, and like my family and I had lined up this to be the last fight for a long time. So it was like I was like, finally, I'm done. I don't have to think about what's next ever again.
Excellent, my man. Well, dude, it was a surprise to me. I thought you might have another fight, but man, kudos to you. I know everything is working out in your life as far as personal life, the family, work, and all that other stuff, man. What's Matt? I know you own the gym, part owner are there. How far is Matt going to step away from the MMA and the MMA world? Are you gonna you're gonna be in it for the your whole life? But is there what is Matt's plan as far as, is there commentary? Is there a podcast that Matt can do every so often? Like, you're gonna be part of MMA in New England no matter what. What do you think could be your next kind of profession in the MMA world if it happens?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's a great question. I'm obviously a coach for the rest of my life. I'm obviously a student for the rest of my life. So as far as training goes, the only thing that changes is I won't have fight camps. I'm still going to train as much as I can. Like, that's what I love to do. It's my fitness. It's not just my fitness. It's for like my mental health as well. I absolutely love it. It makes me feel, fulfilled and at ease. And, if there's any kind of stress at all at work, at home, whatever, like it completely just vanquishes all that shit. So like, that's something I need in my life. So I'll have that forever. As far as like how I can be of service to the MMA community, I don't know. Maybe I'll do some guest commentating. That'd be dope. For sure, I could do that. I mean, I've done it a few times. I could do it again. Podcast, maybe I'll be like guest on podcasts and stuff. But I don't know. For now, I'll just take a step back and enjoy this.
Excellent, my man. Well, like you said, you'll be training, you'll be doing all that. You'll also be getting fighters ready for their fights because you have a ton of young fighters under you. I mean, fighters that are in the UFC now that you're going to help get ready. And, you've helped through their whole career up to this point. So, man, you're an integral part of New England MMA and beyond. You're, a great role model for MMA in New England. And Matt, as far as, I'm going to let you go in a couple of minutes, but, when I first come onto the scene, I don't know if it was like 6 years or so, you were the first local fighter that I attached myself to, as far as, because you allowed me to. I think, I was messaging fighters to try to get in the game, try to get, interviews or whatever. You didn't know me from a hole in the ground or whatever. And I just, sent you a message. Hey, can I write or, can I talk or write an article about you? And dude, it was like, you were very appreciative that, someone reached out to do this. So from that point on, I followed you. I wanted to, and then I watched everything that has perspired since the last 6 years, man. And it couldn't have gone any better for you, man. You are a true pioneer in New England and beyond, dude. And just being able to, be able to interview you and watch you, get to the UFC and get to that goal and then make history in New England to seal it, man, is something, very, very nice and something I'll always remember, dude, because like I said, you always will be and are my favorite fighter in New England. And, man, you've proved it to so many people out there. And, when you went to the UFC and everything, I had to let you go because the big boys were all over you and stuff like that. And even when you were here, the big boys were over you. But, you came back to me, Matt, and you made history, and I got to interview I got to interview you one more time in your fighting career, before and after. So, man, it's a pleasure to follow you, and thank you for letting me in. And, from that point on, CES let me in, and I was at all them fights on, and I was part of, media, and, I haven't stopped since. And you were a main reason for that, Matt. So thank you very much for all that.
Good, man, you're crushing it now. I remember our first interview. You were nervous. And there's a few people like Mike Heck when he first started. I was one of his first few. Nolan, I was his first interview he ever did on camera. And like everybody was nervous. And I think beforehand I was just like, relax, man. It's just a conversation, big deal. And they were like so appreciative. And it's like at the same time, like I remember where I was my first interview. I can't remember who it was, but I remember I was like nervous. It's like, what am I gonna say? And like the camera's on you. What are you gonna do? And it's like it's you build up this kind of like this hype in your own head of how scary things are if you don't know how to do it, which is fighting, right? If you don't know how to do it or you've never been in there, it's the most terrifying thing in the world, right? I gotta tell you, after 36 fights, it's still terrifying, but at the same time, you know what to expect, right? And that's kind of where you are.
Yeah.
You've done podcasts now, how many interviews. You're not afraid anymore, but you're still like, what if I slip up? What if I mess up? But you know how to recover. It's not a big deal, right? You just know how to fix it. So, man, it's always an honor talking to you, and I appreciate every call, from the first one to the last. Appreciate every call.
Excellent, my man. Well, it definitely won't be the last one because I know we'll be chatting down the line for about something. So Matt, last thing, man, I'll shout outs and thank yous, and I'll let you go and then enjoy your night with the family.
I don't have any sponsors. There's no fight coming up. There's no. You know what? It's funny. Like I've thanked all the fans. I've thanked all my friends, and I could thank them again, but then to just be like, what are you just repeating yourself over and over? I'll leave you with this. Like, I'm happy with my decision. I am. Forever I'll be a fighter. Forever I'll want to get back in there. But I'm happy that I don't have to deal with that kind of stress, like understanding like what my head goes through on a daily basis is a lot. Even now, not competing in MMA, I still think of fighting all day, every day. And even before MMA existed, I thought of fighting all the time. I got in fights in school growing up, and it was just like this is like violence, like just clouded my brain, and it still does a little bit. But it's just nice. It's nice knowing that I don't have to like compete and do that anymore, because it's just one less thing that I have to worry about. Although this violence will still stick in my head, and I can just train, and I'll be content with that.
Excellent. Last question for you is the beard and stash there going to be a new Matt Bessette, or is this just the retirement look right now?
Well, it's been like this for a while.
Has it?
Off, probably a couple years, 2-3 maybe, but it's supposed to connect. But
all right, I'll see you in about a year.
It won't connect. It doesn't grow here. But it'd be nice if it did. I'd have a full beard, not just like a half beard and a mustache.
Yeah. Well, it looks good anyway, my man. So, Matt, pleasure, and thank you so much for the time, man. And we'll be catching up. CES has events. I know their next card. I'm sure they're gonna have a great send off for you in that cage. And it'll be a special night, their next card. So, Matt, man, thank you so much, bro. And, I'll talk to you very soon.
All right, Steve. Thanks for calling, man. Get some rest.
All right, I'll try.
Later, buddy.
Later. Well, there you go. Matt Bessette. I had no idea he was retiring. It was a little shocking to me. Not shocking. It was very. I was very happy for him, but I was sad because I wasn't going to see him fight again. But with that said, let me just tell you, Matt retiring. I do believe that means there's a featherweight title and there's a lightweight title open for CES, and they might have another title open. I'm not sure. But Jay Perrin, I want to say congratulations to you for winning the CES bantamweight title with a rear naked choke that put the man to sleep. Congratulations on that. We'll catch up down the road. With that said, I'm done. It's time to get out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to my guest. See you next week.